It's time for the yearly roundup of couch co-op games from 2024, so let's dive in. Snow Folks is a cute little game that I just thought I would mention because, well, it feels wholesome. The premise is to create your own snow day, build snow castles and snowmen, and have snowball fights. It's only available on PC, but it costs $3, so go ahead and pick it up if you think it looks cute. Speed Crew is an Overcooked-like game that we talked about before when it released on Switch, but now it's coming to everywhere else. You can play this game and work together in a pit crew to take care of race cars as they speed off the track and need engines swapped, tires repaired, doors banged on until they're the right shape. It's a fun little game that is very much like Overcooked, with all of the cooperative aspects that you would expect and crazy different levels with all sorts of various obstacles that you're going to have to overcome. If you like Overcooked, then this is a good one for you. Knights of Braveland is a beat-em-ups game that reminds me strongly of Castle Crashers. I mean, just look at this art style. We talked about it before when it released on PC, but as with Speed Crew, it is now available everywhere. So if you like this type of sword-slashing beat-em-up type game, then this might interest you. The story is actually built out of a bunch of different pieces that are randomly generated to be put together and create your own unique story every time you play through the game. There are over 100 different items to use, from spears, swords, and hammers to crossbows, magic, and gauntlets. And of course, as you might expect, each of these different items will change your fighting style. So go ahead and restore your castle to get better upgrades and start smashing heads to become the bravest knight there is. The amount of times we've talked about PlateUp on this channel is a little ridiculous at this point, but man, it is coming out on the 15th of February, and we cannot wait to play it. Again, this one has been out on PC for a while, but now it's coming to everywhere else, and we are so excited to play this. It's a roguelike game mixed with Overcooked. So basically, you have to take control of your restaurant. That means serving the customers. That means cooking the food. That means choosing the food you're going to cook. That means decorating and decorating and selecting appliances and washing dishes. All of the stuff that is included in running a restaurant, you're going to have to do in this game, and you're going to have to do it as fast as you can. And you can even start like daisy chaining appliances and stuff together to automatically create dishes for you so that you don't have to deal with that part of the restaurant. It seems like a ton of fun. People seem to love it, and we cannot wait to play it when it comes out on February 15th. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is filled with a ton of bite-sized levels to play in the brand new 2-player mode. That's right, this remake doesn't only come with an upgrade to graphics, but actually brings Toad along as well. My wife and I both love Mario platformers and puzzle games, so we are incredibly excited to play this one when it comes out on the 16th of February. You can play together or solo, and you'll have to solve puzzles and platforming stages to get back to the mini Mario toys stolen by the classic villain Donkey Kong himself. I cannot say whether this one is going to be good or not, but we're going to play it either way. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is a touching 3-hour story that we thoroughly enjoyed playing together when we played it on the Switch. And the new release coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC on February 28th comes not only with a huge upgrade to graphics, but a dedicated 2-player mode as well. While I'm not certain if we're actually going to be playing this one, having played the story before, I want to, I just don't know if we'll have time. I highly recommend that you guys pick it up if you have not played the original game. This is a thrilling story where the two of you will have to work together to combat all sorts of different scenarios. It comes from the developers of It Takes Two. It was actually, I believe, their first game. So yeah, definitely check it out. You're going to have to deal with ogres. You're going to have to travel through a land of giants. You're going to have to dangle onto the bottom of a plane and fly it across the chasm and learn how to get on, befriend, and fly this winged animal of sorts. I don't know what it is. You can tell me in the comments. Manic Mechanics is one of our favorite Overcooked-like games out there, and so we are incredibly excited that it is coming to all platforms on March 7th. This game originally released on the Switch last year and has you working cooperatively with up to 4 players to fix cars as fast as you can. You will face all sorts of different obstacles, from electrified floors to abducting UFOs. You will even have to overcome the occasional boss level. If you love this style of hectic cooperative game, then this one's definitely worth checking out. Contra Operation Galuga is a reimagining of the classic Contra games. Having never played any of these classics, I honestly can't tell you how similar or dissimilar this looks to the originals. But I can tell you that you'll be running, gunning, and jumping throughout 8 different levels to fight off terrorists with a devastating arsenal of weapons, and some new overload abilities. The game will support 2 players in the story mode and 4 players in the arcade. You can pick this one up anywhere on March 12th. Stolen Realm is a turn-based strategy game with a strong mix of action RPG. Now, I'll be honest, this is not a genre of game that I have a lot of experience with, but I will do my best. In this game, you will go on a co-op adventure where you will spend your time fighting and building your character. There are hundreds of ways to customize your character's build, and even D&D-like attribute roles that will affect your character for the rest of the run. You get to choose what to do between fights, whether it's going to treasure rooms, shops, resource gathering, or story events. You can do what's best for your team to prepare yourselves for the upcoming boss fight. Go Fight Fantastic is a hack and slash game we've talked about a couple of times. It looks very vibrant and colorful and like a ton of fun. You play as a crew of smugglers with a dog as their commander. Somehow I missed that last time. I read it, but I wasn't sure that was actually true. And so I just forgot to actually put it in. But this time I know there is a dog involved in this game somehow that has some sort of chain of command over you, I think. There are 4 different characters for you to choose from, customize, and upgrade to be completely your own. You can play with up to 3 players on PC on March 26th. The 2017 arcade beat-em-up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wrath of the Mutants will be making its way to your favorite gaming platform. It will come with an additional 3 stages and 6 bosses. I have got very little interest in playing this one, but maybe it's perfect for you and your 3 friends who need something to play on April 23rd. Fruits are the enemy in Juicy Realm. In the future of our world, plants have begun to sprout arms and legs and move their way to the top of the food chain. This deliciously fruity roguelite plops you into a crazy world and has you fighting on the side of humans, grasping desperately to stay at the top of the food chain. This wonky concept alone got me interested, but the visuals and exciting looking gameplay also play their part. Juicy Realm is not exactly new, with its official release happening back in 2018, but hey, it's on PlayStation now, it's the first time I've heard of it, and I'm pretty excited to actually play it. For a mere $5, you can become just like Dr. Doofenshmirtz and snag yourself Ballooney! Okay, this game probably has nothing to do with Phineas and Ferb, but it does have you playing as a balloon with a face. In fact, you can actually customize your balloon to look however you want. Carly was a big fan of a mustache. Should I be worried? This is a small 2D platformer with 68 levels to work your way through in 1 to 4 player co-op. There are bosses to overcome and enemies to avoid, cool zipping lasers that'll pop your balloon. In fact, that was probably my favorite thing, is that your balloon pops when you die and you go zipping off screen really fast or something like that. I don't know. I liked the popping when you died. There's cactuses and all sorts of things to poke yourself on. So yeah, the devs were kind enough to give us a copy, and I think it's worth $5 for sure. It's nothing revolutionary, but $5 is a good deal. One of the only games my family owned back in the day was Star Wars Battlefront 2. And thanks to the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, it is now available along with the first one. I honestly have no idea if this is competitive or cooperative or both, but it supports 1 to 2 players locally and 64 players online. The graphics are old, and I doubt anybody that didn't play it back in the day is gonna pick it up, but I have fond memories of blasting droids and playing as Wookiees and fighting the Jedi and Sith alike. It was a ton of fun back in the day, and if you want to trip down nostalgia lane and you also played it, well, here it is, available to you now. Astro Deul 2 is a very pixelated game, but it brings an interesting twist to the top-down space shooter genre, blending it interestingly with a 2D platform fighter. This game has you controlling a spaceship that can seamlessly move from the 2D top-down to the 2D platform fighter. Your character will actually hop out of the spaceship and start moving around in that 2D area. The game itself doesn't look great visually, but understanding the little twist definitely got me a little more intrigued. It supports both a versus mode with up to 6 players and a co-op mode for 1 to 3 players. There are fully destructible environments, different fighters to choose from, and various items to help you outplay your friends. Again, the dev was kind enough to give us a code for this one, but we haven't tried it ourselves yet. If zombies are your thing, then maybe you will enjoy Zombie Wood Survival Shooter. This game takes place on Hollywood movie sets and has you playing as a stuntman turned zombie slayer as you blast your way through zombies with more than 30 different weapons. It supports up to 2 players, though I'm not sure if it will actually let you play the campaign co-op. To my understanding, the co-op is more of a survival wave after wave type of thing, but I could be mistaken. Ready Steady Ship is a brand new cooperative game that will have you frantically running around the warehouse in an attempt to get all of the packages shipped out as fast as possible. This game definitely has a flair of Overcooked mixed in with a good amount of automation. Instead of moving every single box manually, you will actually be putting together a conveyor belt system to deliver them exactly where you want. We had a lot of fun with this one, but as with most of the games in this genre, there was quite a bit of frustration at one another as we were playing. It supports 1 to 2 players and is available on all consoles and PC. Zombies, Aliens, and Guns is a very simple, low quality looking isometric shooter that only costs $6 and it's currently on sale. I don't know if this game is any good, but maybe it will appeal to some of you. The game has you playing through 33 levels of zombie and alien blasting with some boss fights and 7 survival levels to unlock. There are multiple different weapons to wield solo or with a friend, and the game is available right now on PC and Nintendo Switch. Now we get to talk about a game that is far more interesting. Rotwood is one that we are greatly looking forward to. This game is now available in early access on PC and is an absolutely beautiful action roguelike mixed with what looks to be kind of a beat 'em up style. The game comes from Clay, the developers of Don't Starve Together, and that makes us even more excited to play it. There are a bunch of different skills to unlock and equip, armor and weapons to customize your build, and fantastic enemies and bosses to take on. This game makes us really want to break our general no PC games rule. It supports 1 to 4 players online and will hopefully come to consoles eventually. Trash Punk is not actually a new game, but the extended edition did just release in April. This looks to be your fairly standard top-down roguelike shooter with a mix of melee combat to reload your ranged weapons. It may or may not be any good, but it's currently on sale for only $2 and you can play with 1 to 2 players on Nintendo Switch. Surmount is a climbing adventure that has you doing your best to climb to the top of Mount Ohm, where no man has made it before. The game is pretty fun, but definitely has a hint of roguelike elements, making it frustrating at times because you do constantly end up restarting levels. It supports up to 2 players and will have you facing off against all sorts of wild obstacles, from freezing rocks to mountain platforms, wild winds, bee stings, and more. It has some pretty cool items that you can collect to use on your way to the top, from grappling hooks and ladders to health packs and rockets. If you're up for a challenge and some fun mountain climbing, you can pick the game up on Nintendo Switch or PC. Hotel Hustle is a 1 to 2 player game where you will need to take care of a hotel and all of its guests. That means cleaning the rooms, watering plants, delivering new sheets, room service, and whatever else the game has in store to throw at you. It has a cute art style and looks like a ton of fun. Here's to crossing our fingers that this is not one of the games in the genre that make us incredibly angry at each other. This one will be available on Nintendo Switch come May 10th. Baladins is a cute and cozy looking game that is inspired heavily by adventure tabletop games. There is no set story. This is a choose your own adventure game where you roll the dice and see where they take you. There are 4 classes to play as on your journey to bring happiness from town to town. We have never played any tabletop adventure games, but something about this makes me really want to jump in, so it might just be the first of its kind that we play. We have talked about Bread and Fred before. It's an adorable physics-based platformer where you try to make your way to the top of a mountain. Only you are tethered together and its difficulty does not match its cuteness whatsoever. Anyway, this very tough and adorable game is coming to Nintendo Switch on May 23rd. I remember the first time I saw Hypercharge Unboxed. I still have yet to play it, but I love the idea. It makes me think of Toy Story mixed with the first-person shooter. You play as action figures in a human-sized world and can team up with 4 players to fight off waves of enemies in the story-based campaign. It's been out most places for ages, but come May 30th, you will be able to play it on Xbox as well. If you want a new multiplayer game to play with your spouse or your family or your friends, I've got a deal for you. We recently launched our co-op memberships where we are giving you so many different things, from behind the scenes footage that I've been recording for over 2 years now, to member only chat rooms in our Discord. But what I want to talk about right now is that we have a variety of different game codes available for different games on different systems, and the first 10 people to come and join the membership at the co-pro tier will be able to choose one of those games to go home with. You can join at thecoopstop.com/support. Come over and get yourself a game. Brotato is a top-down arena shooter roguelite that released last year, and it has over 71,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, which is crazy. In this game, you play as Brotato and wield up to 6 weapons at once to fight off hordes of alien monsters while you wait to be rescued. The game just got a new DLC announced that will be bringing 4-player local co-op, so definitely look forward to that. There is sadly no release date though. Gogo Town is basically like Animal Crossing with proper split screen co-op, says the guy who has never played Animal Crossing. Anyway, this game has you playing as the new mayor of a tourist town, and your goal is to make it the best you possibly can. You'll have to gather materials, build new buildings, keep shops stocked, and even keep your residents happy and assign them to jobs. We played a demo of the game and had a lot of fun with it, so if you're into this city management type game, then definitely go ahead and check it out on Steam in early access for up to 4 players. Messy Up is a cutesy animal-based game that has caught my eye. You play as either cats or dogs, messing up the house to get your owner's attention. Or you can play as a human desperately trying to stave off the chaos. Anything around you can be used to make a mess and wreak havoc in this silly game. You can play with up to 3 players on PC. Everafter Falls might just be the new Stardew Valley. Okay, I know nothing will ever beat Stardew Valley, but Everafter Falls looks like it's giving it a good swing, and we personally cannot wait to try it. This is a cozy farming life simulator with gardening, fishing, and fighting. You wake up after getting hit by a car or something, and discover that it was only a simulation. From then on, you explore Everafter Falls, work with your pets to farm, and take on dungeons. The game supports 1 to 2 players and is available on all platforms. Frogun? I'm not sure. Frogun Encore is a somewhat retro-style 3D platformer that supports 1 to 2 players. This game honestly looks pretty fun. You explore through ruins looking for your parents and have all of your basic 3D platforming moves. You complete challenges and collect collectibles. Our biggest concern with this one is that co-op can be a little bit tricky to do in a 3D platformer, and we haven't really seen footage, but there is a demo available on the Switch, so you could check that out. The game itself is available to play everywhere. On the 4th of July, we will be getting Rivertales Stronger Together. We have talked about this game on our channel so many times, and we are excited it's finally coming to Switch so we can actually play the full game. This is a 3D platformer featuring an adorable cat and fish who have to work together to progress through the winding river and landscape. That didn't sound right, but that's what I wrote in the script. There is so much actual cooperation in this game of how you have to work together to actually solve puzzles and make it through. There's also some tough timings and a fun story. If you're looking for a new game to play as a couple, then this one should definitely be on your list. Originally released in 1992, Cyber Citizen Shockman 3 is now available on modern consoles. This retro port comes with English translation and subtitles on the Japanese version, I think it is. I don't know much about this game, but if you're into playing retro games, this one supports 2 players. Questmaster looks like one of the coolest games to come out this year. This is basically if you took Super Mario Maker and mixed it with Zelda. That's right, we've got a Zelda Maker, except it's not actually Zelda because it's not Nintendo, but you get what I mean. The game is releasing into early access on Steam May 29th, and right now we don't have info about it coming to consoles, but I certainly hope that it does. It's going to support up to 3 players, both while designing your master dungeon levels and while playing through them, and you can also play other people's dungeons or share your own. It certainly seems like it will be a fantastic time, especially if you're a fan of Zelda. I certainly remember really enjoying working on making games in Game Builder Garage with Carly just so that we could play them together afterwards. Spellbearers. This game has piqued my interest. Yes, it does look a little cheap, but it also reminds reminds me of an old game I used to play on mobile called Solomon's Keep, and that game was a ton of fun, so maybe this just got in here on nostalgia feels. Maybe it got in here because there's really not that many multiplayer games releasing every month. But regardless, I am quite excited to actually take a look at this one. The game has you playing as wizards battling against a bunch of different monsters in order to save the 3 kingdoms of Spellborn. There are different power-ups to use to help you take on bosses and minions alike. It will support up to 2 players, and while it is already available on PC, May 30th will bring it to Nintendo Switch. The next May 30th release is Goliath Depot. This is an 80s retro-inspired game that will take you through 40 one-screen levels spread across 4 worlds. I love this retro style, even though I'm not normally a big retro guy. There's something about this one that just kind of appealed to me. Maybe it was the music, maybe it was the style, I don't know. It's already available on PC, but is now headed to Nintendo Switch. If you're one of those people that comment on our videos saying that games we talk about are too tame for you, then maybe, just maybe, Earth Defense Force 6 will interest you. This is an arcade shooter that has you fighting giant bugs, aliens, and spaceships in a desperate fight to defend Earth from the invading force. There are 4 different soldier classes for you to test out and find your favorite. With up to 2 players in split screen and 4 players online, you can dive into this bug blasting game now on PlayStation and PC. If you're looking for something a little more on the strategy side, then Tactical Bandits might interest you. This game plops you into a post-apocalyptic world filled with zombies and gun-toting enemies to defeat. While that may seem fairly interesting, it does seem like that is just single player, and the multiplayer mode is relegated to being more party mode focused. If you want to get up to 4 players together, you can enjoy surviving hordes, competing against one another to be the last one standing, or working cooperatively together in a game of capture the flag. The game is available now on Xbox, PC, and Nintendo Switch. For those cozy gamers out there, let me introduce you to The Garden Path. This game is meant to be played in small 10 to 30 minute moments. It takes you through your own secret garden and provides you a few different things to do, from fishing and gardening to decorating and getting to know the faces around you. While the game looks a little slow paced for me, it might be perfect for those of you out there who are just looking for an escape, something really relaxing for you to just do for a couple minutes at the end of your day. You'll get to explore all 4 seasons over 28 real-world days, and it's available for up to 2 players on Nintendo Switch and PC. Now let's dive back into the action. Bodacious fans of Turtle Power will be excited to hear that TMNT's Splintered Fate is coming to the Nintendo Switch with 4-player couch co-op. This game originally released on the Apple Arcade with only online available, so we are excited to see that couch co-op is now an option. In this roguelike adventure, you will get to play as all 4 turtles and unlock fantastic unique abilities for each of them in every run. We personally cannot wait to play this one, and you can actually play it right now. It's a timed exclusive on Nintendo Switch, but we do expect it to come to more consoles in the future. Chef Chen's looks a little cheap, but it honestly seems like it would be pretty fun. It's basically the concept of Overcooked put into a platformer with some combat added. I'm definitely interested in trying this one and seeing what different style it brings to the cooking genre. There are 4 different characters for you to play as, and you'll have to go out and gather your ingredients to compete in and win a cooking competition. It's available right now on PC and Nintendo Switch for up to 4 players. World of Goo 2 will be released on the 2nd of August. This game looks like a ton of fun. It's a puzzle game where you'll have to use living goo to help you make it through each level. There's different types of goo with different abilities and stuff and things. Your goo will be able to create structures like towers and bridges, terraform terrain, make flying machines, explode stuff, and more. I have no clue how the co-op in this game works, but if it didn't get delayed again, then it should be available right now to go play and figure that out. It's on PC and Nintendo Switch for 1 to 4 players. Cat Quest 3 is coming August 8th, and having really enjoyed playing Cat Quest 2, we cannot wait for this one. This is an action RPG about hats and pie rats, and it is so incredibly punny. I had the opportunity to play a demo of it earlier this year, and I had an absolute blast. These Cat Quest games are jam-packed with funny cat-related puns, and as you set foot in the Caribbean, you're going to encounter even more as you face off against pie rats and set sail in your very own boat. You can battle others on the sea and find loads of gear and weapons along your journey. This game genre does not often support couch co-op, so it's definitely one worth keeping an eye on. That was terrible. It will be available on all platforms and support up to 2 players. We still have a couple great games left to talk about, but if you've made it this far in the video, I want to sincerely thank you and ask if you'd be willing to help support the channel so we can continue bringing these fantastic games to you. It's because of viewers like you that we're able to make these videos, and if you want to help support us even more, you can go ahead and join our membership at thecoopstop.com/support. We have some fantastic benefits for you, from a free game just for joining, to exclusive content, to discount codes, and so much more. I hope to see you over there. Thank you so much. Cult of the Lamb is not exactly new, but co-op will be brand new on August 12th. This is a free update to the game, so if you already own it, congratulations to you. This is a beloved roguelite game that now features 2-player co-op to help you move through levels and bash in baddies. What makes this one interesting is that it combines your classic roguelite elements with a base building game. When you're not running through levels, you'll be running your cult, cleaning up after them, building buildings, and leveling things up to increase your combat prowess. It does go a little into the darker side of things with the ability to sacrifice cult members and stuff like that. Having not played it, I'm not entirely sure if it's more on the joking side or more on the serious side of things. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn has been remade after 33 years. According to the description, this was one of the best couch co-op games of its time. It is a 2D platformer with 6 stages to work your way through, a variety of weapons to use, and some great retro music. It's sure to be a blast for those that played it in the past, and maybe for those who have not. It will support up to 2 players and will be available on all consoles come August 29th. In that direct, we got the announcement for Pico Park 2 dropping immediately. While this game may look simple, the first one is actually really fun, and I am very excited. The game will support 2 to 8 players and adapts its puzzles to work exactly with the amount of players that you have. It's all about working together to accomplish whatever task is put before you. It is a fantastic party game, or just a fun, simple, but challenging game to play as a couple. It's available right now on Switch, but will come to Xbox and Steam on September 14th. In addition to the brand new Pico Park 2, we also got Goat Simulator 3 coming to Nintendo Switch. Now, this game is already available on all the other platforms, but it might just be worth checking out for you. You play as a goat wandering around an open world, causing problems and completing all sorts of nonsensical quests. It's a goof and a gaff game, but I'm honestly pretty interested in playing it just for the laughs. It is worth mentioning that the Switch version will only support up to 2 players, while everywhere else supports up to 4. Coming on the 6th, we have Smells Like a Mushroom. When your vegetable planet is invaded by mushrooms, you join the Avengers and fight back. This is a 3D platformer mixed with a first-person shooter. It comes from the devs that gave us Kamikaze Veggies, and it looks like fun. It's packed with a very silly story and stupid vegetable humor. Right now, it's only releasing on PC, but they are planning on bringing it to PlayStation and Xbox later this year. You can enjoy up to 2 players locally in this silly action game. Towerborn looks like a very promising beat-em-up hack-and-slash style of game. You play as an ace born to protect the people of the Belfry. You can play with up to 3 friends as you venture into the world to defeat monsters and return to the Belfry for completed quests and to reforge weapons. There are plenty of different weapons to find and mix and match to make your character and playstyle completely your own. This game is intended to have a continuing storyline as new seasons of the game release, and it is coming as a timed exclusive to Steam on September 10th, and a 2025 release will follow on Xbox, and at that point it may be free to play, though I'm not entirely certain on that. Either way, it's definitely one that we want to pick up. Skipping forward to September 26th, we have the meats. No, wait, that can't be right. Iron Meat. Face off against the meat in Iron Meat. This platform shooter pays homage to classic run and guns of the past and has you battling against fleshy, meaty enemies who have been infected by an interdimensional biomass called, you guessed it, the meat. There are 9 levels to play, 3 difficulties to choose from, multi-phase boss fights, 30 unlockable skins that you can mix and match to create whatever abomination your heart desires, and to top it all off, 2-player couch co-op so you can enjoy it with a friend. The game will be available on all consoles and PC. According to Steam, Storm Edge is planned to release in September. This is a roguelike game where you play as powerful mages forming Storm Edge, a guild to stop the elemental storms and save the world. The battlefield is constantly changing due to elemental storms, so you will need to stay on your toes while you try out the various different characters with their own unique abilities. Of course, as with any standard roguelite, you will also be able to purchase permanent upgrades and get little skill upgrades as you play through each run. The game will have local multiplayer, but I cannot find any info about how many players it's going to support. It is also planned for PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, but they don't have a date listed on their websites, so crossing our fingers that this game will even actually come out in September. Wobbly Life was announced to be coming to Nintendo Switch in December of this year. Now this is one that we've heard about a couple of times in our comments here and there, so it is supposedly pretty good. In the game, your grandma has kicked you out of the house, so now you have to go do jobs around the open world island to make money, survive, and live an extravagant life by purchasing clothes, vehicles, and houses. There are also quests scattered through the world to complete and some arcade modes to play together. The game generally supports up to 4 players, but I don't know how many it's going to support on the Switch. Antstream Arcade is now available on PlayStation, and this has a ton of different retro games, some of which feature multiplayer, but I don't know which ones, so good luck. Despite not growing up with Rugrats, I still really enjoyed the experience of playing the new Rugrats Adventures in Gameland. This is another game I played at PAX West. It is a pretty simple 2D platformer that was originally designed for NES hardware. The game has a toggle to allow you to switch between the retro 8-bit gameplay and the HD version. Honestly, I was pretty bad at this game, but it was fun nonetheless. There are 4 playable characters and you can play with 2 players at once. A code for Crossy Road Castle showed up in my inbox in September, and while I only played it for a little bit with my brother and my son, it seemed to be quite enjoyable. It was simple enough for my 3-year-old son to join in, while also providing something that would probably turn into a really fun, hectic game night with the right group of friends. You'd probably all end up trying to get the coins faster than one another and beat each other to the end of the levels. It features procedurally generated platforming levels to work your way through, with some interesting challenges and fun cannons to shoot yourself out of. There is a ton of character customization to unlock and multiple castles to make your way through with up to 4 players. You can play it for yourself pretty much anywhere you like. Goob and Balloons DX showed up in my inbox around the same time as Crossy Road Castle. This is a shoot 'em up all about popping balloons. I have yet to actually boot this one up, but it definitely seems like something my son's going to enjoy a lot. You will play through multiple levels trying to defeat the balloon invasion and even face off against bosses, each with their own unique way to be defeated. There's an arcade mode where you can try to survive as long as possible, challenges to get the best score in, characters with different abilities, and it supports 2 players in local co-op. You can play this one on consoles and PC. If you like boss rush games, the Nimbus Fall may pique your interest. This is a pixelated game that will have you facing off against 25 bosses, one after the other. In between, you'll be able to head to the armory to pick up new weapons or upgrade existing ones to help you stand more of a chance against what is to come. There are 4 difficulty levels to choose from, and you can play solo or with a friend to help you in these difficult fights. It's available on PC and Nintendo Switch. All you need is help dropped out of nowhere. All we knew was that this game was going to release in fall, and now it's here. This is a very interesting puzzle game where you play as different shapes and have to use your unique shapes to solve puzzles in the world. It looks adorable and like a ton of fun. Personally, I can't wait to play this. The challenges here could be as simple as arranging yourself in a specific shape, or they could be something like pushing a big ball into a hole. It's available on consoles and PC. I want to introduce you to our sponsor. thecoopstop.com. This is where you can buy all of our fantastic co-op merch, like the shirt I'm wearing right now, the shirts in this picture of some of our supporters who shared it with us on Discord, or any of the other merch items you're seeing on screen right now. For a limited time, you can use code COOP to get 5% off. We love it if you buy these shirts, whether it's to show your love of co-op games or just to help support the channel. If you do pick up something from the store, we will send you a custom thank you video just to show how much we really appreciate it. And of course, if you want to send us pictures, hop into our Discord linked below. Going back in time, we have Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel coming to all platforms on October 6th. Here you get to experience the fast-paced ninja action of 15 levels, with support for 2 players. You'll play as Zero and master his combat skills to defeat a wide variety of enemies and face off against powerful bosses. You could choose between the English or Japanese version of the game, and since this is a retro title being brought back, they've added some quality of life features such as Rewind and Turbo, which allow you to retry tough sections or speed up gameplay. The save state function allows you to save progress at any point, and screen filters let you customize the visuals with retro effects. You can also activate cheats such as infinite lives or invulnerability to help you through those really hard parts. On October 8th, we will see the remaster of the LEGO Harry Potter collection come to PC, PS5, and Xbox X and S. The remaster will feature all 7 years at Hogwarts, obviously upgraded to look so much better, as well as 2 DLC packs. We've always loved the LEGO games for their simplicity and the way that they tell the stories in a funny manner. There's also the bonus of being able to see some of your favorite things come to life in LEGO, and also be able to destroy a lot of LEGO stuff. So if you like Harry Potter and didn't pick this up before, now's your time. Nico Dorico The Magical World is launching on October 14th or 15th. It honestly has different dates listed on different sites. It really gives off some serious Crash Bandicoot vibes. The colorful platformer features a variety of unique worlds to explore, complete with minecart rides, chase sequences, underwater sections, and boss battles. What's even better is the inclusion of 2-player co-op, which I'm incredibly excited to actually try in this. You will be able to play this little gem on all platforms. The Ninja Turtles have had a bit of a resurgence in video game form the last couple of years, and given that it is all about 4 turtles working together, they often feature co-op. This time, however, we will only be playing with 2 of the turtles at once. With the mix of gameplay and animations, I honestly struggle to tell if this is actually a 3D game or more of a 2.5D game, but I think it's 3D. You can choose to play as any of the 4 turtles, who each, of course, have their own fighting styles. You will have to use them to track down new mutants who have sprung up across the city. You'll be fighting, delivering pizzas, and building your graffiti collection? I don't know if that's just something I don't get because I never really watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It seems like Streets of Rogue 2 delayed its early access release on PC. This is now set for October 22nd. I've never played the original, but the game looks like a ton of fun. You can choose from a variety of classes to do anything, from toppling a corrupt president to starting a business or even building a farm. Personally, I'll probably wait for this one to come to consoles, but good luck to all of you guys who play on PC. It seems like there are a lot of games being made from franchises that I don't necessarily love myself, but I'm always excited to play the games, especially when they have co-op, and that's the same for the Smurfs Dreams. This fresh 3D platformer sees Gargamel casting a spell that puts all the Smurfs to sleep, and it's up to you to travel through their dreams, helping them conquer nightmares and wake up. I'm usually a bit concerned about co-op in 3D platformers, as sometimes it's handled well and sometimes it's not, but the visual style of this one reminds me a lot of Mario 3D World, so I have hope there. There is even a demo available to play right now, and I might be playing that right after recording this video. You can pick this one up for up to 2 players on all platforms come October 24th. I rarely talk about PC-only games on this list, but Keep Keepers has caught my interest. This is a chaotic roguelite tower defense game that supports co-op for 1 to 4 players. It has a mix of base building, process automation, and unique weapons. It looks like it'll offer plenty of strategic and tactical options for you to choose from and decisions to make. And it reminds me a lot of PlateUp, as you'll be choosing new pieces of equipment to use as you go through each level. You can pick this one up come October 28th, but I do think there's a Steam demo available as well. Return to the world of fast-paced spell-slinging action with the new 3D visuals and enhanced co-op play in Wizard of Legend 2. This roguelite sequel to the hit original has you playing as wizards taking on the Trials of Legend, a series of unpredictable and ever-changing roguelite challenges set in the mystical floating lands. Players can experiment with powerful arcana spells representing elemental forces like fire, water, earth, lightning, air, and chaos. You can mix and match these to find the perfect combinations. The game is in early access on Steam right now and supports 2 players locally, but the full version will support 4 players and will most likely come to all platforms. If you're interested in spending $50 on a game that will most likely leave you disappointed, or you just have a huge fan of Miraculous around you, you could buy Miraculous Paris Under Siege. Players step into the roles of Ladybug and Cat Noir in an adventure to save Paris from Shadow Moth's wave of villains. This action-packed game blends acrobatic combat and parkour as players switch between the 2 iconic heroes. It supports up to 2 players with drop-in, drop-out co-op and is available on all platforms. AK-Xolotle released a year ago, but just launched a local co-op update. Now you could team up with a friend to blast through waves of enemies and share epic power-ups in this top-down roguelike shooter. Players control an axolotl armed with some serious firepower. You'll be facing chaotic, randomly generated biomes filled with unique enemies and bosses. With the recent update, AK-Xolotle has added over 20 new weapons, new items, biomes, bosses, and overhauled some of the systems, including axolotl training, cooking, and weapon mods. You can unlock new weapons by bringing baby axolotls back to your pond. This game is very reminiscent of, say, Enter the Gungeon, and I'm personally excited to give it a try. In River City Saga 3 Kingdoms Next, you can battle your way through feudal China in classic beat-em-up style. The game comes with a deep story, but you also get the opportunity to ride the red hair bike through enemies in your way. And you can even customize it and upgrade it to become something else. Of course, you also have a major ability to affect all of the enemies on screen, whether it is elemental fire or water, or calling down some generals you've worked with before to fight side by side with you. This one will be available on November 7th on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and PC. If you're a big retro fanatic, Irem Collection Volume 2 may interest you. This comes with Gun Force 1 and 2 and Air Duel. This retro shoot-'em-up will give you an intense blast of classic action, and Gun Force 2 supports 2-player local co-op, so go out there and enjoy a good retro time on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch come November 14th. In a future Earth transformed into a land of Lego bricks and nature, players join Aloy in a quest to protect her world from a digital demon and a group of sun worshippers. That's right, it's LEGO Horizon Adventures. We had the opportunity to fly out to California and play 1 hour of this game, and we are both incredibly excited to actually dig into the full game. You could journey through recreated environments inspired by Horizon, from dense forests to vast deserts where dinosaur-like machines roam freely. Players can unlock and play as other colorful characters like Varl, Tirsa, and Erend, each bringing their own unique skills to the hunt. We did notice that Varl had a spear that went through enemies, while Aloy just had a bow that shot one enemy at a time. You can also decorate Mother's Heart and give characters hilarious outfits. This game is packed with sights for both LEGO fans and Horizon fans alike. From towering tall necks to mysterious cauldrons, all beautifully built from LEGO. And it still has all of that LEGO charm that makes the game incredibly funny to play through, and it's just going to be a good time, trust me. Spiritmancer is an interesting deck-building hack-and-slash game. You play as a demon hunter trying to escape a demonic realm after being accidentally transported there. Armed with a variety of guns, melee weapons, and spirit cards, you'll capture and summon demons as allies to help you defeat the Queen of the Inferno. Breaking enemy shields, capturing their spirits, and customizing your own deck with over 100 spirit cards for unique abilities to use. Venture through diverse 2D pixel art landscapes from beaches to volcanic strongholds, and bring a friend along for local co-op. Between battles, you can also unwind with minigames, fishing, and side quests, all while you work your way to find the mystical key to return home. The game will be available on PlayStation 5 and PC come November 22nd. And it's also planned for Switch, but I'm not sure if the release date is the same. Snow Bros Wonderland marks the return of the beloved Snow Bros series, now with a modern twist as it transitions from 2D to a modern 3D isometric style. Players are armed with ice pellets to transform enemies into snowballs, which can be kicked to clear out hordes of foes. This new installment enhances the gameplay with the ability to chain attacks for maximum damage, and features massive boss battles that will challenge your snowball skills. Additionally, it will support up to 4-player co-op gameplay, which is a nice surprise, as previously the trailers looked like it was only going to support 2 players. Set to release on November 28th to PlayStation, PC, and Switch. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers got a release date of December 10th. This is a fresh beat 'em up with classic Power Rangers in the retro style. It comes with a clean retro pixel art look or a CRT filter to make things look all the more retro. The game has you playing as 5 Power Rangers with up to 5 players locally or online. There are fan favorite enemies from the TV show scattered through the levels, as well as some events that fans from the show may recognize, though they may have a little twist in there. This felt like a classic 2D brawler and will include some unique levels with roller coasters, arcade-style shooting and driving sequences, and you can even pilot the original Dinozords and use the Megazord to fight gigantic bosses. G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra is an 80s inspired beat 'em up. The game will support 4 players in local co-op and has a roster of your favorite G.I. Joe characters to play as, each of course with their own unique movesets. Your goal is to bring down Cobra with a blend of couch co-op and button mashing, or skilled combo executions if that's your thing. This is sure to be a great one for fans of beat 'em ups, G.I. Joe, or both. Servonauts is a new Overcooked-like game that chooses to focus more on puzzles than the time crunch that Overcooked does. Instead of working in the kitchen, you'll be building your own gas delivery system to mix and deliver various colors of gas to vehicles as they show up. It's all very puzzly as you try to figure out the best way to create a pipe system to get it there and also deliver the right color. The game is cute and colorful and is a lot of fun for up to 4 players on PC or Nintendo Switch. Though sadly the game only takes around 2 hours to beat, so that might help you make a decision. If that wasn't enough for you, then click on this video where we talk about 80 multiplayer games that released in 2023. There are so many great options there and you might find the perfect one for you. I can't wait to see you over there. Love you guys, y'all are awesome.